Miss May I to kickstart our Friday afternoon. It's October 17th, 2025. Peach's Pit Party kicking off here. And earlier this morning, we announced another giveaway. We are now giving away, thanks to Brent Gordon Law, a Nintendo Switch 2 bundle. So you can sign up for that within the apps, the K-Bear app, the Alt app, the Cannonball 101 app, and then starting next week, listen for the Mario Sounder. It's going to be pretty obvious when you hear it. And when you do hear it, be caller 13 to score an extra entry into that drawing. And we'll be drawing a winner for that whole thing on Halloween morning. So you'll have enough time that whole day to pick up your brand new Nintendo Switch 2 bundle just before we fall back an hour on Sunday, November 2nd. I know daylight saving time absolutely sucks. It's daylight saving, not daylight savings. And I decided to go to ChatGPT and ask it, hey, what are some reasons that someone would defend keeping daylight saving time around? Because I dare someone to go online and say, you know what? I really support the time change and legitimately back up their stance on it. The biggest argument for daylight saving time is that people get more sunlight after work or school, which is not the case for this particular situation where we fall back an hour. It's going to be pitch black at 3 p.m. Energy conservation, that's another sort of defense for it. But then it goes on to say, parentheses, sort of next to it, daylight saving time was promoted as a way to save energy by reducing the need for artificial lighting in the evenings. And then it goes on to say, even though modern research shows the effect is minimal, sometimes the opposite, many still believe it helps reduce electricity use in the summer months. But then it goes on to say, like, when we spring forward an hour, it goes on to say that studies have suggested that lighter evenings can reduce traffic fatalities because people drive home in daylight rather than darkness. There's that. Having daylight later encourages physical activity after work. It's defending daylight saving time right as it starts. This is when it ends, right? I just know we spring forward and fall back. Is that ideally the thing that starts in the spring, ends in the fall? Anyway. Yeah, sign up right now if you want to win that Nintendo Switch 2 bundle. Again, thanks to Brent Gordon Law. Make the Switch a whole lot easier by just winning yourself that gaming system. That's right, Peach's Pit Party. We'll be back here in just a few. I just spit everywhere when I said Peach's Pit Party. We'll be back here in just a few on K-Bear 101. Yesterday, we lost the legend that is Ace Frehley. I did see the news pop up that he was on life support because he had a brain bleed, which is awful. But I know as soon as you see something like that pop up, you don't have too much hope. And it's really unfortunate that the news did pop up. He passed away at 74 years old. But he was scheduled to join his KISS bandmates, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Peter Criss, later in December in Washington, D.C. to receive the Kennedy Center honors. So I guess the Kennedy Center now announced that they will be paying tribute to Ace, his work and his legacy at the whole ceremony. That will air on December 23rd on CBS at like 6 p.m. our time. The Kennedy Center has a policy that its honorees must be living, but Ace Frehley becomes the third person honored posthumously following Glenn Frey of the Eagles, Phil Lesh of the Grateful Dead, who both passed after the announcement of their bands being honored was made. Didn't I see something about how like Ace Frehley went to a psychic and the psychic said he would live to 100 or something like that? There was a whole article I saw on Facebook about that, but overall, rest in peace to Ace Frehley. Let's do some Turnstile right now. Never Enough on K-Bear 101. Don't you love it when kids say creepy things? Let's talk about this, considering, it is the spooky season after all. Just in time for Halloween, Huffington Post collected stories from parents about the most chilling things their kids have said. Some are the stuff of scary movies. Now, this first one, this lady says her daughter, 2 years old, woke up crying in the middle of the night, which is quite rare for her. So she went in to calm her down, finally got her to stop crying. The room is pitch black. She says so seriously, "Mommy, who's that lady over there?" I ask her what lady, and she replies, "That lady in my room sometimes." After that, they got her a nightlight, never mentioned anything about it again. Isn't that pretty creepy? Another one here. One night my son had an experience that still gives me the chills. It was about 3 a.m. when he shook me awake with a whisper that a woman was in the hallway telling him not to go into the kitchen. He told me she had wet hair and a dress with dark spots on it. He also told me she was continuously pointing to the kitchen doorway. When I stepped out into the hallway, it was silent and empty, but he was squeezing my arm with such strength that his nails actually caused red marks. The next morning when he told the story again, it was with the exact details, and it shook me. And this person's a therapist in this story. I understand that they often mix fantasy with reality, but this was so specific and so consistent for someone his age that it seemed like he witnessed something real. The fact that he presented it as a cautionary tale and not a dream still makes me consider that night anytime I go past the kitchen in the dark. Wow. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I think my parents, they put a picture of my dad for some reason in the corner. I forgot the exact origin of this story. I think it was because my dad was traveling for work, and just in case I missed him, my parents put a picture of like a 8x10 picture of my dad's face in the corner. I think that freaked me out as a kid. Should we go through one more of these stories here from the Huffington Post? The most chilling things kids have said. One sunny afternoon, my wife Lauren stepped out the back door when our son Phoenix pointed towards the pool deck and asked, "Who's the man standing over there?" She saw no one and asked what he looked like. Phoenix replied, "He's waving. He's wearing a blue uniform." Lauren's father had passed before Phoenix was born, and he had spent his life as a mailman in a blue uniform. Isn't that freaky? You see stuff like that. I don't know what I would do down the line once I have kids and such. If they say anything creepy like that, would I just want to move out of that house? One of my biggest fears is moving into an apartment or a house that's just quite haunted and nobody tells me, and then I wake up and there's some strange looking apparition in the kitchen. I would beat Usain Bolt's record for however long distance. I would sprint out that kitchen so fast. Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101. Sneakers, they're supposed to squeak. Oh, wait, no, this says they're supposed to sneak and not squeak. You ever been to a basketball game before? You hear that signature squeaking of the sneakers all on the court? There's a class action lawsuit that has been filed against the Swiss shoe company On. Customers are complaining that they bought the pricey shoes only to discover that they squeak whenever they walk in them, causing embarrassing situations. The shoes use a special Cloud Tech sole designed to cushion your stride, but according to the lawsuit, those clouds are rubbing together in all the wrong ways, creating a loud squeaking noise. Now, don't you think the company would have tested this and said, yeah, these shoes squeak quite a lot, maybe we should fix that? Runners who are wearing these specific sneakers have resorted to rubbing oil into the soles just to silence them. There's a lot of times in the hallway here, you can tell who's walking down the hall by the sounds of their shoes. Unfortunately for me, I feel like I try my best to walk lightly, very lightly. I try my best to not have my shoes make any sounds because it does get rather embarrassing for some reason. Anytime I wear my running shoes, there's this almost like a duck's quack sound. It's bramp, bramp, bramp down the hallway, and you can hear it. Everybody knows it's me walking down the hall. I'm not the heaviest footed person walking whatsoever. I grew up in a house where you had to walk up very gently up the stairs. Otherwise, my parents would put on their Oscar-worthy performance of, "Oh my God, it sounds like he's coming through the roof." Because my bedroom was right above the family room where they sat most of the time. And if I were to make any sudden noise, they would just jolt. What is he doing up there? Is he jumping off the bed? Anytime friends came over, I would tell them to walk lightly. Because, again, the parents would just freak out. Got some Bill Murray here for you. More Than Hate on K-Bear 101. The NBA season gets underway Tuesday night, and the sports books all feel that the Oklahoma City Thunder will repeat as champs come next June. FanDuel and ESPN Bet have the Thunder at plus 200. DraftKings has them at plus 245. BetMGM has them at plus 250. As for the second favorite, the sports books are divided. The Denver Nuggets are the choice at DraftKings, while the Cleveland Cavaliers are the picks of FanDuel and ESPN Bet. Plenty of NBA players have learned they've been traded via social media. And while it's unlikely that Minnesota Timberwolves superstar Anthony Edwards would get traded, he really wants to know before the rest of the internet. Edwards told the king of NBA info, Shams, I always forget how you say his last name, Shams Charania. If I'm going to get traded, you better text me. Don't leak that crap on Twitter or X or whatever. Send me a message. Let me know. Is the direct quote from Anthony Edwards. WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark is ready to try and play her second favorite sport against the pros next month. Clark announced that she'll play in the Pro-Am event as part of the Annika, the LPGA Tour event at Pelican Golf Club in, how do you say this town's name? Bel Air? Is it just Bel Air with an E at the end of Bell? Bel Air, Florida, November 12th through the 16th. The tournament, which is the LPGA Tour's final full-field regular season event, is hosted by World Golf and LPGA Hall of Famer Annika Sorenstam. I don't know how you say her name. Sorenstam? Something like that. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. I'm in the mood to do a whole bunch of home renovations. Just kind of, I don't know, get my place looking better than what it currently looks like. I think my living room looks nice. I think my place looks good for how bad the apartment is quality-wise. Like the bathroom itself, we tried our absolute best. By we, I mean me and my girlfriend, we tried our absolute best to get that bathroom looking somewhat cool. Got a new shower curtain, got new rugs, got some little decorations on the back of the toilet. Ooh. Got the Edgar Allan Poe ceramic figure of him sitting on the toilet, sitting on a toilet on my toilet. Yeah. There was a place called Bobby McGee's that my parents went to. I think it came back for a brief bit and then went out of business again. But they would give you your drink in either like a ceramic toilet, like a little tiny one, or they would give it to you in a bathtub. And so I have one of those very old Bobby McGee bathtubs. I think it's from like the 90s, maybe even older than that. Yeah, might be even the 80s. But I have some shower steamers in that little bathtub there. But I've been wanting to just go around my entire apartment and just throw away a whole bunch of stuff that I do not touch whatsoever. Just get rid of anything and everything that I'm like, okay, I haven't touched this in years, toss it. Haven't touched this, toss it. Go through the closet, toss a whole bunch of old clothes out. I don't know. I really don't know how I'm going to get it done in just one weekend. Maybe it'll take a couple of weekends, but we'll see how it turns out for me. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I think it's because I was looking up mirrors on Facebook Marketplace. I was trying to find myself a nice giant mirror, and then I was wondering why mirrors are so expensive. I just want to get one for right there in my dining room, even though I don't want to see myself eat. I just know mirrors make dining rooms look bigger, and I want to make it look better than what it currently looks like. So if I find myself a decent mirror, that'll be a win. That'll be a win. Is this next song a part of our K-Bear Rockin' Halloween? It is, haunted by Juicity Vapor. It's Ghost. The future is a foreign land. Powerman 5000 Black Lipstick. It is Peach's Pit Party. Speaking of parties, tonight there's going to be a metal Halloween party at the Heart in Idaho Falls called Heartbeat Halloween. It's going to be hosted by Victor. Victor's been sharing it everywhere. You got Botched Burial performing. You got Flora performing. 2 local metal bands. It's going to be fun. And then there's a drag show also at the very end, which I find hilarious. I think Victor is dressing up as a woman, and he said he was going to shave off the goatee tonight, so I don't know how that's going to look. Is he going to look like Butterbean, King Kong Bundy? Is it going to be like Big Show without the goatee? That's my biggest fear, is shaving my beard off, and I look like a thumb. One of those like thumb people from Spy Kids look like that. I don't know. But I feel like it's going to be different to see him like that. Who knows? Maybe I'll take a picture with him, post it on my Facebook. I think he said his name was Victoria Rose tonight or something like that. Oh, man, it's going to be a fun metal Halloween party at the Heart in Idaho Falls. Heartbeat Halloween. If you want all the details, Victor shared the show flyer in the K-Bear 101 Idaho Rock and Metal. Come on out if you're not doing anything tonight. Should be a fun time. Sorry, I'm talking more AI here. I was kind of laughing at the possibilities of... I don't know if the WWE announced this themselves, or if it was just sort of told by somebody who works behind the scenes to some news source, or I don't know what happened. But I saw the news headline that WWE is going to start doing AI generated storylines with their wrestlers, and I can only imagine how loony that is going to get. Vince McMahon, towards his later years, really did suck with decision making. There's been a lot of terrible ideas that he's had. Luckily, he's completely out of the business. Triple H is in it, and he seems to be doing a decent job. But I was going to ask ChatGPT, give me your best wrestling storylines and see what happens with that, but that would be kind of boring, wouldn't it? I went to Ask Reddit, and somebody said, hey, people who lost their jobs to AI, what happened? Somebody who's a voice actor responded, saying that they still get the bigger commercials and jobs, but they've lost a lot of the smaller jobs like storyboarding. Ad agencies will create a digital storyboard detailing what the ad will look like. They then hire a voice artist to do a preliminary voiceover. You'd earn like $150 to $200 for the hour. It's all AI now. This voice actor goes on to say, I've worked on campaigns where all of the voice artists refuse to sign their contract because there's a new clause in it. If they sign it, they're signing the rights of their voice over to AI, so this client can use their voice without them ever having to record anything else again. They all refuse. The client just recast all of them. That's sad to see. Another one, graphic designer. I haven't been fully replaced yet, but the landscape has completely changed. Clients now expect me to use AI as a co-pilot, generating initial concepts, mood boards, even rough copy in minutes, not hours. The job is becoming less about executing the first idea, more about curating, refining, and adding the crucial human touch and catching AI's weird mistakes. This list goes on and on. It's quite sad. I mean, I'm glad to see that the AI Ashley radio DJ failed, because that was such a stupid idea. I'm hoping that lady's completely out of the business. The one that donated her voice to become the first AI radio DJ. Man, that radio station should be ashamed of themselves. Really. It's sad to think that like somebody wants to tune into the radio to hear an AI generated voice. Just go, hi, welcome to Peach's Pit Party. You know, it's going to sound natural, but it's still not a real person. Like, you can't call them. You can't call the AI generated voice. You can't have them report on local things. You can't have them say their life experiences, their fun stories. They're just a robot that doesn't exist. Let's continue here with our, speaking of scary, our K-Bear Rockin' Halloween Haunted by Juicity Vapor. How about this classic? Good old Thriller. All right, let's talk about fast food here for a second. I saw this question get posted. What's a fast food place no one can convince you is good? I'm not going to ask this for to peach their own, because I know every single person that's never been to an In-N-Out burger before will say In-N-Out, just because it's a, quote, California-based restaurant. They'll think they're doing some sort of hot take online by saying, oh, it's overrated and tastes like garbage. Trust me. You can't say In-N-Out is garbage, but then think Burger King is good. All right? The top answer for this question, what's a fast food place no one can convince you is good? Subway. And I myself, I like Subway, but there's a whole lot of them. And this person is right. They went from $5 footlong to $15 footlongs, and none of their sandwiches taste as good as $15 spent. Let's see here. Dunkin' Donuts. I worked at DD when I was 16, 20 years ago. We used to make our own bagels daily and donuts. Now it's all straight garbage and so expensive. Isn't it just called Dunkin' now? Sort of like how Jamba Juice just changed to Jamba. Someone said, I used to love it, but Sonic has really gone downhill. The shakes and drinks are great, but everything there now is so overpriced, garbage quality. I feel like this is going to be the consistent thing with this thread. It's overpriced and garbage. Overpriced and garbage. I know it's not traditional fast food, but Buffalo Wild Wings has lost its charm. The boneless wings changed a few years ago, and you never get enough sauce unless you ask for it. That is true. It was most recently, I went to one of their locations. I think it was like the one, they have this to-go one in Rexburg. And me and, of course, my girlfriend who lives up there went there, and we got our wings, and I wasn't all that impressed. It was kind of sad. Like, I hadn't had Buffalo Wild Wings in quite a long time. I used to go there all the time back in the college days. Me and my friends would go to the one in Long Beach, and we would get the medium 20-piece each. I would get like Thai curry and Asian zing, both great flavors, but the wings themselves, they were just like overdone, rubbery chicken nuggets with barely any sauce on them. The new sauce, this is funny. I can't tell if this is this guy's real name. Sauce Gardner. He's a cornerback. Yeah, his name's Ahmad. Yeah, I was like, there's no way his parents named him Sauce. He got the nickname Sauce. He's way younger than me, but he looks older than me at the same time. He's 25 years old. Yeah, he's on, what team's he on? The Jets? Or is he go? Oh, no, 5 hours ago, or a couple hours ago, it was announced he's going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Anyway, he has his own sauce at Buffalo Wild Wings, and that sauce was great, but yeah, overall, the wings just sucked. Panera Bread on this list for the question, what's a fast food place no one can convince you is good? Yeah, I would, again, ask this for to each their own, but just like how there's a lot of haters for Sleep Token, there's a lot of haters for In-N-Out the same way. In-N-Out, I'm not trying to defend in any way, shape, or form. I think, honestly, the best fast food burger you can get is Culver's, but if you want a cheap burger, you got to go to In-N-Out. A foster cat at a home in California recently decided to lend a paw to the family's meal preparation. Her name's Wendy. She turned dinner into a surprise science experiment. Wendy was caught on a kitchen security camera, which, I mean, who really has that? A security camera in their kitchen? Like, maybe to track things like this? This cat, Wendy, dropped a dead mouse into a pot of soup that was left simmering on the stove. Her foster mom had stepped away from the kitchen to feed her dog, so Wendy used the opportunity to hop up on the stove and toss in the secret ingredient. The SPCA shared the photos online, joking that Wendy was simply adding her own special seasoning to the meal and praised her thoughtfulness. Now, I hate to be the person that finds this sort of thing funny, but there has been a compilation of cats being dumb, like them trying to touch a hot pan or putting their hand in the boiling water, their paw in the little boiling water. And it makes me sad, but it also makes me laugh at the same time. Cats are funny. That's all I can say for this What the Headline right here on K-Bear 101. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.